everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answerman. I am Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, and I have with me Eric, OG Cool Daddy McCabe. Slick Breeze.
Freaking sick shirt.
Yeah,
He's got
throwing it back.
You guys can't see the shirt, but maybe if let me get the right angle here, there we go. So you can see old school. Back in the day, when I was trying to raise funds to be on the road, had me a couple of T-shirts, and it's one of the originals.
It is. It's the second one, I believe. I think it was the second one he came out with. The first one he came out with just had the logo and had like the tribal logo.
Like tribal stuff. And then further on down the road, we have Robert Canoe McCall.
Canoe.
I am so not looking forward to it.
You're not?
So
hey,
no,
wait,
I don't mind canoeing.
Before we go any further, you better get to looking forward to it. You're representing our team.
That's true.
Represent.
That's true. Now, I will say this. My personality is such that I can't do anything and not try my hardest. So I'm going to 100% try my hardest.
That's the competitive nature.
Yeah, even if it's like, we were talking about it last night at Putt Putt. Somebody was like, yeah, it's just for fun. No, it's not.
No.
This is serious, and I'm going to try my hardest.
And
Thank you for asking.
Those people listening and wondering, what are they talking about?
Oh, right. Yeah, corporate challenge. Here in Emporia,
yes.
A bunch of the businesses in town put together teams, and we competed in a bunch of different events. I competed in Putt Putt last night. We had disc golf. We had cornhole, which we took down, by the way.
Nice.
Sick.
Bags.
That was awesome. Yep. Mm-hmm. Old Bago. But the one that... Like, all right, so we did canoe racing last year. Me and Rusco were the paddlers. Mm-hmm. Rusco is like a physical specimen. Like he's a big guy, right? And I just tried my hardest. Well, he's out of town this year, and so I'm a little scared.
Yeah.
Not that his replacement isn't good. I think Shannon's going to do a great job.
Yeah, Shannon's going to do just fine. But Shannon, I think he'll surprise you.
I think Shannon's going to do awesome. I just remember how exhausted I was at the end. Mm-hmm. And we got like, I don't know, 12th or 15th last year.
We need a little trolling motor.
Yeah, we got
to hide somewhere.
We got to figure it out.
Take one of those little fans.
We went fast, man. Don't worry about it. So anyway, yeah, there it is.
All right, so back to disc golf.
No.
There
was disc golf in the corporate challenge.
That's true.
I did put on my post that we'll talk about disc golf mostly.
So anyway, so this is the Disc Golf Answer Man show where we answer your disc golf questions. Let's see. What did I do? Oh, Masters Worlds.
Yes.
We're at Master World. Me and Danny were out there doing some filming, helping Terry Miller. Good event. Saw some good disc golf play. Yeah. Waterworks was, as I remembered, hilly. A lot of hills.
Quite elevated.
Right.
I actually won the tournament. There's no need to go look at results.
Dang, congrats, man. I didn't even see that.
You just won the tournament.
I won. No, there's no need to go look.
There's all
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Also,
spoiler.
Also, ratings updated today. I got to 1,000. No need to go look.
Nice.
So
mine didn't move.
Both are false.
Dang it.
So
true. Both are very false.
Eric placed a respectable 9th place. Did well the first couple rounds. Did really good the fourth round.
Yeah, pretty much every round, but the bookends.
Okay.
So the first and last, I had a really slow start and a really slow finish. So it's whatever.
Yeah. So
the worst round was obviously the final round.
Right. But it was good times. I'm a little. I don't want to say disappointed, but that might sound harsh. But I'm a little mixed feelings about the being just Masters Worlds.
I'm disappointed.
I mean, like the Fly Mart. It's just there was people there, but it just wasn't a lot of people. It didn't feel like World Championships.
It definitely didn't. It absolutely didn't. It was a great event. Scott put on a great show.
Right.
Courses all looked great.
Yeah, I'm not dogging the event at all or anything. It's just
I think it was too soon.
I just have mixed feelings about it.
It was too soon. I understand wanting to make the pro world seem a little bit more professional in whatever aspect. You could do that every now and then, but don't. I mean, and I know that they did change the rule to where you can host or put in bids for combined worlds, but I think it's just professionals or just amateurs. It's not like everybody. So in the future, I could see it happening again, but I don't know. It's just a better atmosphere when everybody is there, as opposed to
I agree.
50 players. We had 50 players in our division.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, though, because I was watching Patrick Brown, and he said something about, I can't remember where it came up, but then he said something about, so I can be at Pro Worlds. And I thought, is that really fair that because you're in an age-protected division, because of your age, you're allowed to now play two? In other words, in a sense, in reality, if Patrick Brown, now he won the MP50, Feldberg won the MP40. In a sense, they're world champions on that level, and they actually have the opportunity to be a world champion on the pro level, whereas someone who's 25 doesn't have that opportunity. Does that seem?
I think it's
like a no
fair.
big deal.
It's kind of just part of it.
I think it's fair because majority of the time, these quote old school players, the guys playing the 40s and the 50s and over, have put in their time.
Yeah.
They've put in many, many years of performing, and they kind of deserve that because, I mean, it's
if they can still compete at that level, good on them.
Yeah, I mean that's great if you can go out and still win an MPO World Championship. But I don't know. I just feel like, and maybe I'm a little biased because I'm there. I'm at that level to where I could compete in both. I could go play both events. But no, I don't. I mean, if a 25-year-old is seriously going to come to me and whine because they can't play an age-protected event, I'm going to laugh at them.
Well, I would. I identify as 40 and over, so I think I should be able to play Masters.
No, I don't know. I wish they'd bring them all back together, though.
Yeah.
I really do.
And then it was great to see people that are 60, 70 years old. And then we had one guy out there 80 years old.
86 or something, I think.
Can't remember what. I knew he was in his 80s. I can't remember exactly. But he's out there playing disc golf.
Pete May wins another world championship.
Yep. He's got a lot.
Yeah,
and he didn't accept cash, right?
He did not. So he can play Am Worlds next year. He does this every year. He wins 2 world championships a year. Every year. It's pretty awesome. Good on him.
How funny.
Good on him.
All right. So let's see. What did you do, Robert? You did nothing disc golf wise, did you?
What?
What'd you do?
What? I was out at the Masters World.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
So get out of here.
Yes, and he got me a sandwich that it wasn't as good as I thought you said it was going to be.
I didn't say it was going to be great. The restaurant was good, but I didn't say that was the sandwich you needed.
Oh, that's true. What did you guys get?
I got a waffle with pork belly on top of it. Oh,
that's right.
It was fantastic.
Where did you go?
It was. It's called Beer Kitchen in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. And Rusco and Shay both got chicken and waffles. And then I want to say J-Ray got a burger, and everybody liked theirs pretty
I wish I would have got chicken, the waffle thing. I didn't see. I mean, I know you guys sent me the menu, but I was like in the middle of something.
Right, yeah, you had stuff going on.
That's tough to eat, like on the go, too.
For sure.
It was good pork, though. The meat was
sure.
good.
I'm sure.
It's better, too, if you got to sit there and eat it with us, you know.
Right.
Anyway, we got
so,
some speak pipe questions. Let's get on to some speak pipe questions.
Boy, Robert's just keeping us on track.
I'm trying to, because we got people out here saying we don't talk about disc golf.
They're saying it right now?
No.
Okay. Yes.
Eric was.
Okay.
He commented.
All right, guys. Remember, as always, you can send your questions in the discgolfanswerman.com. Send it in via SpeakPipe or the Google form. We're going to do a little Google form so we can make sure we keep up with that. But send your questions in. We will try to get on the air. I will tell you that we have a lot of questions sitting in the queue, so you do not ask something that is time sensitive.
Right.
Like about a specific tournament, because it may be some time before we get to it. It's a cool problem to have, but I understand if you're frustrated at it, but you know, it's cool to have a lot of people asking us questions. We have 117 questions in the queue.
Yeah.
But we will start out with Sean on SpeakPipe. Let's see what Sean has to say.
Hey there, Disc Golf Answer Man. This is Sean from New Jersey. So I have 2 questions. Before I ask them, though, I just want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Danny. I saw a video of him on YouTube, a tutorial, and it helped me out so much. Like these two simple things he described in the video increased my game exponentially. I didn't even know I was doing it wrong. Keeping your hand on the outside of the disc for as long as possible, and you're keeping your plant foot slowly out and to the left when you're in your X step, and it's helped me out tremendously. So a huge thank you to him and for what you guys do. Nice. So real quick, my questions are the first one. When you are when you're finished your X step and you're on your plant foot, I know that the regular thing to do is to turn on your heel. But I have a lot of friends who turn on their toe, the balls of their toes. So I didn't know, is that a preference thing, or is the correct form and really you're going to get a lot more out of your disc by turning on your heel? So there's that question. Also, my second one is I see.
All right, so the reason that people aim to rotate on their heel is that tends to engage more of your big muscles throughout your leg, including your hips. Mm-hmm. That's going to get more of your throw, or more of your muscles into that throw. Now you can turn on your toes and still engage those, but you don't want it to just be your toe. If anything, like a midfoot would
I'm more
be
of
a good
midfoot / toe spinner as opposed to heel. The heel never felt good. I felt off balanced on when I tried to spin on my heel. So I naturally gravitated to a more of a toe or flat foot spin, so I can feel more grounded and get more control over the disc.
Right, and I think you can accomplish really similar things without focusing only on spinning on your heel. But really the goal of that is to get more of those larger muscles engaged rather than just kind of, through your calves and just a bit of your leg when you just get your toe down first.
Yep, correct.
Excellent. Second question. And by the way, yes, Danny does a great job. If you go onto a Dynamic Discs YouTube channel, go look for the first series 1, Physics of Flight. Actually, you can search for it, Physics of Flight, and it's a new series that Danny has going where he does a lot of instructional. He's working on series 2, so look forward to that. Next part of his question.
A lot of pros, they don't actually keep it. I thought you're supposed to keep your disc on your reach back up around your shoulder line.
Let me start
I
that
see a lot of them going a lot more out of your disc by turning your heel.
Here we go.
So there's that question. Also, my second one is, I see a lot of pros, they don't actually keep it. I thought you're supposed to keep your disc on your reach back up around your shoulder line. But I see a lot of them going like Ricky Wysocki, especially going lower, nipple line or even a little lower than that. So I was just curious which one was better in the correct form. So thank you guys very much for everything you do, and keep it real.
I think a lot of it determines on the shot you're throwing too.
Yep.
If you're trying to throw a big hyzer, you're not going to be trying to go from the top of your shoulder. Then you're going to be doing a lot of dipping and air bouncing and all that. Me personally, I don't necessarily really think about where I'm bringing it back on what plane. I just do what feels natural to me and kind of go from there.
Yeah, yours is.
I'm pretty low.
Pretty low, not like Miles low.
No.
Miles is like starting a lawnmower low, but he gets the disc back up to the right plane.
Yes, he does.
But yeah, I think you're probably kind of torso level.
Yep.
And I'd say that's where most of the kind of power players are throwing, anywhere between kind of your chest and upper torso.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely not shoulder.
Shoulder's
because
way too high.
Higher reach back, like you said, does tend to kind of dip it and make you throw nose up.
Yep.
Real quick, this reminded me of, if you're on Instagram, make sure you follow Dynamic Discs on Instagram. They, of course, if you follow anything social media or know what's going on, there's a thing called IGTV, Instagram TV, where you can upload vertical videos. Well, we've taken some we've taken some of the questions that you guys have asked here on Disc Golf Answer Man, and we've turned them into video answers. So you'll have asked a question, and it's more like a form question or something like that. And it's like, you know what, this question probably would be good answered via video. So we took that. Danny and Robert actually have a couple out, and they answered them, and they're out on Instagram TV. Just go to Dynamic Discs on Instagram, and you'll see the little IGTV icon. Again, you can watch the first one that's out there, and we'll be doing that in the next few days, adding more and more to that.
Sweet.
Next one comes from One Last Time.
Is it Zach Swanson?
How did you know that?
That's the guy who was calling in last week.
Oh, One Last Time. Here we go.
There it is.
Just one more time. I throw a West Side King on a little bit of hyzer. It flips up to flat and rides to the right for a while, and then, softly finishes back to the left. If I was looking for a mid-range to throw on a similar line in the Trilogy lineup, what would you recommend? And then the second thing was just an observation. I was watching Ledgestone, and I saw Michael Johansson. That dude has the cleanest, most beautiful hyzer flip I've seen from any of the pros. I guess I was just observing that and wondering if you agree, or if there's somebody else you think has a better hyzer flip.
Me?
Thanks.
I was thinking Cool Daddy.
Hopefully I'm not unable to be understood this time.
All right.
I'm not drunk or tipsy, so yay.
Thank you, Zach. We appreciate it. Yes,
Keeping
me.
it real.
Just because I'm not on Ledgestone doesn't mean I don't have a good hyzer flip.
Better hyzer flip. Who throws a better
Mikey
hyzer
Joe
flip?
throws a lot of flat shots too, though.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think he just throws more understable discs than most people do.
Yep.
And so he's more well known for
Exactly. He's
throwing those
solid.
hyzer. Yeah,
He's such a good player.
Yeah.
So do you remember his first part of his question?
Yeah, the first part.
I don't.
What's a mid that flies like a king?
Yeah, that's tough because a king is like a distance driver. Mm-hmm. And to be fair, he did say the king will turn over and ride and then come back. So, I mean, just there's not a lot of mid ranges you can get to just turn over like that and hold that right line and then come back at that speed.
The only one I can think of is an evidence, right? Because evidence usually
it's
has
going to be a little more understable.
He definitely has some turn, but for some reason they come back at the end most of the time. So that'd be the one that I'd recommend if you're looking for that exact same flight. But yeah, there's Michael Joe throws hyzer flips about as well as anybody. He throws comets super well too. Yeah, he's just a smooth player and knows his lines and then executes them to the point where he just turns around when he's done, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Next one comes from Evan. This is the topic is casual round game. Hey, Disc Golf Instrument Crew. I was the person who asked about the one disc challenge where you pick each other's discs out of that person's bag. I have another challenge for you that might be interesting for a casual round video. We call it the Mando game. On every hole, we rotate, picking a tree or other obstacle to declare as a new Mando, and everyone must follow the Mando unwinding. You can even call going around a tree behind the tee box if you're evil. Just use good judgment for what is safe to do.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun thing.
Sounds like a good way to make your friends really mad.
Yeah. Let's see. John asks about a discs. He wants to know about Rule 813.01F, unique marked disc rule. I think they should remove this rule and replace it with a rule like if you cannot identify your lie because of an unmarked disc, rethrow from previous lie with a stroke penalty. The reason I say this is because there are many players out there that refuse to play tournaments and leagues, etc. because of this rule. Why would you refuse to play anything because you...
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a rule that they would...
If it's a disc you're wanting to mark because you want to save its value, why are you throwing it?
Correct. Yeah, that seems weird.
Yeah, that's not to mention, I mean, if you don't really want to mark your discs, just don't mark your discs. I mean, that's kind of a bad,
right? If you're playing casually,
piece of advice to do it. Well, I mean, for tournaments too. I mean, all you got to do is put a little notch or a little something. Nobody's very rarely will anybody even call you out on it at all. But I don't know. I don't think that's the reason people don't play tournaments, though.
Right. I don't think so either. But uniquely marked doesn't mean that you have to write your name on there. You don't have to write your phone number on there.
It could be one little dot.
Yeah, in a specific place where you know this is where I drew this dot. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, I let Danny borrow one of my Mavericks this weekend, and he didn't want to mark it super strong, so he drew a very, very tiny smiley face underneath it.
You're never gonna be able to see it.
It's very unique. And yeah, and you can't tell. And now, if I was still wanted to throw this disc, it wouldn't be a big deal because I'd be like,
I bet you it's going to be way understable.
Yeah, it's really bad now.
Yeah, because of the smiley face.
Just because of the smiley face. Yeah, exactly.
All right, next one comes from. Oh, this is the same guy. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, here we go. I think I sent it in twice. Question for Rusco.
You should send that into the Resco podcast.
When will I see more of the Zuka backpack large released? Got Ricky pulling it around, and now I want one.
Nice.
I think we got a restock of that. You might check since the question came in. Rules question, another one from Brad. If I know my range won't clear a water hazard, am I allowed to take the strokes and just throw from the drop zone instead of losing my disc?
Only if the TD allows it.
So the TD can...
Is that not right?
Pretty sure that's right.
But he has to say it, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure, when we do our GBO and events here in Emporia, we make an exception rule for players on hole 12 that don't think the elevated basket on Jones East, that don't think that they can clear the water. So we tell them you can take a stroke and go to the drop zone. But I'm not positive.
You can't automatically.
I don't think you can just assume and do it.
Right. What was the thing you were talking about? I don't know if it was you or Patrick and Phelps. There was some hole where they were talking where you could literally, some guy was throwing it OB on purpose because he knew he could just get his 4, which is par.
What course? Do you remember? Was it Waterworks?
I thought it was Waterworks. Something they were talking where, all you had to do was throw it here, and even if you went OB, you could still make par. And so one guy was throwing it on purpose over to this side, thinking if I'm OB, no big deal. I'll just make my par. You know, maybe it wasn't you.
Must not have been me.
No, sorry. Okay.
The only hole I can think of that they could do that on would be hole 14 there, and it's not. There's no hole out there where it's easy to just take a par.
Correct.
Really.
Maybe I misunderstood what they're saying, but they were talking about it was kind of like a loophole, like a loophole or something like that. The way the hole was designed and the OB was placed. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. All right, let's go back to Speak Pipe and see what Zach. This is a different Zach.
Okay,
has to say.
What's going on, fellas? So I'm wondering if discs that have metal flakes in them or sparkles in them, if that makes them more overstable. For instance, the Lucid Defenders that are like sparkly, I wouldn't call them metal flake, but they're sparkly, hard to see through. Those are definitely more overstable, but then there's other ones like that have kind of the same thing, but I don't notice a difference in stability. Do you think they make them more overstable, or does it more depend on just the run and the shape of the disc? And also, my next question, pause, Bobby.
Oh, hold on, sorry.
All right, my next question.
He even gave you time. How courteous.
Oh, thank you, Zach. I appreciate you thinking of me.
Right.
No one ever thinks of me. I'm teasing. No, I appreciate that.
Obviously, I don't know if it's just the metal flake or the sparkles or the whatever else you call it that makes it more overstable. Every one of those runs tends to be a little bit more overstable. I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's each one of those runs, ironically, also is relatively domey.
Yeah.
Which could be part of it. I personally believe it's just kind of run to run. The sparkles or metal flakes, or what is the other term people use for them?
I don't remember.
There's another one too, but those do tend to be a little bit more overstable, and I can't answer yes or no if that's the exact reason.
Yeah. Now the Defenders, 100% agreed, are more overstable, but then like the Wardens I can think of were pretty much just like Lucid Wardens. So I think it's probably mold dependent.
To be fair, the Warden, no matter what you do to it, it's not going to be
super different. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I do think it's just mold dependent on how it cools and if they're coming out particularly domey or not. Yeah. Anyway,
next question.
After the courtesy pause.
Oh, that's right. The courtesy pause.
Man,
Thank you.
You almost.
He thought of you and you didn't think of him.
Gosh.
How dare you?
Well, I messed up.
Zach.
I misspelled something on a post. I'm trying to fix it.
Sorry,
while
Zach.
we're recording. I apologize. Hold on.
Question is, when they say metal flake, do they actually have metal flakes in them? Because that does not seem safe. Thanks, boys. Love you too. Bye.
I don't think that means metal.
I don't think so.
And by the way, it does not mean metal.
No.
On to the next.
Definitely not metal.
Also love you
Put
too.
it through a metal detector and that'll tell you.
Next one comes from James. What do you guys... Okay, he wants our opinion. What do you guys believe is the biggest difference between 900 rated players and 1,000 plus rated players? Is it distance?
100 points.
Upshots? Putting? Accuracy? Robert McCall?
Hateful.
I
put that. Something else. Thanks, guys. Love the show.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say all of the above.
Yeah, everything.
Everything. Mostly accuracy. I don't know if that was one of them, but that's what I'm going to say.
I'd definitely include putting in there too.
Yeah.
There are
putting.
Yes.
There are very few lower rated good putters.
To me, that goes hand in hand.
Sure. Same.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I had just had to pick two, it would be the ability to, let's call it three. The ability to hit lines, I think, is important.
Yep.
And control your distance is kind of in there too. The ability to scramble is really important because I see a lot of lower 900 rated players get in the woods and think, oh, if I can just pull off this hero shot, I can save par, I can still get birdie. And
yeah, that's why
we don't do that a whole lot.
All of the above.
Yes.
I mean,
it's pretty much a lot of things. And then definitely putting. Well, there are very few low 900 rated, really good putters.
Not to mention, I mean, the difference in skill level from a 900 rated to 1,000 plus rated is
10. That's 10 throws around.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a big gap there. So
yep.
The question maybe from like 980 to 1,000 would have been a little more accurate, maybe. And I would say accuracy or putting would be the big difference there. Finishing, making those putts.
Yeah. My difference between those two is all mental improvements.
Yes, you're right in the middle of those two.
Yeah, I'm erring on the side that's closer to it.
That's true.
But yeah, mine is.
I'm going to be there. I'll be down there soon because I'm dropping like a bad habit. So
yeah. Speaking of what happened with the ratings update?
I went to 993 down
From 994,
5 down 2. Yeah, my Des Moines is still on from last year, and that's a bad tournament. But I had a really good tournament from last year, the Wild Hair, that dropped off.
oh,
So-
that happens.
How many more tournaments until?
How many more updates? You mean?
There's like 4 or 5 more updates.
But then how many tournaments do you have to play? Like if you didn't play another tournament,
I would finish the round. I would finish the year within 1 or 2 points because I still have
Yes.
Kansas City wide open to go.
So what else?
But I'm going to go. We'll play
You're
Nantucket.
playing Nantucket.
And then following that, I'll go play USDGC. Probably won't be rated if they do stroke and distance again, so that won't matter much.
Are they doing stroke and distance?
I don't know. But at
don't
least
think so.
on some holes. Yeah, they had some last year.
It'll
that
still
were-
be rated.
It wasn't last year.
Are you sure? The whole round?
And then I will.
I think I do remember that now.
Probably go to Piney Woods. I'm not sure on that one just yet.
Piney Woods is going to be a tough one to make it to your rating, though.
Yeah, that's true. It's tough. And then I don't know after that.
I meant like make it onto your rating this year. I didn't mean
they
ratings
do,
are tough there.
They do
but-
one even as late as like middle of December, I think.
Yeah.
I'll find that out real quick. It seems important.
All right, next one.
what if they're going to be stroke and distance or
No. When ratings are updated. This one.
the next one?
The last update is December 18th, and events have to be submitted before November 27th.
Gotcha.
So I've got a few months, but
But when is that tournament? Is it like 1st of November?
Piney Woods is in October.
Oh, it is.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So that one will help
Yes.
you or hurt you.
Yes.
Right. All right. Next question from Michael. He wants to grow the sport in Europe. He wants to know what about some activities of the trilogy companies in Europe, especially in Germany, where I'm from. Michael, we're working on it. We don't have a lot of resources that allow us to do that in those areas, but we are working on making it to where it does happen more.
Run a trilogy challenge.
Run a trilogy challenge. You can run one yourself. That's true. TrilogyChallenge.com.
Tournament in a box. It's easy.
Next one's Dave. He says, now that Eric is getting married,
Okay. This is going in weird places.
is the DMAC truth coming out?
Oh. She's sponsored by Latitude, so probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
Probably not.
How funny.
That is funny, though.
Yeah. So Eric's fiance's name's Denise, and that's where the DMAC came from.
And they call her D.
And they call her D. Yeah. Don't call her D nice though.
Although
She does not like to be called D.
that's a little weird. Don't call her D-Mac either, because that was what my dad had told me that was one of his nicknames growing up.
That would be weird.
So I don't really like that.
Next one is from Charlie. Hey, DD crew, I just started getting into this sport. Now at the stage of getting myself a bag as I make my shift. As my makeshift disc bag came.
Words,
Punctuations, and things like that. They're kind of important.
Nah.
As my makeshift disc bag cum beer cooler bag has started to fall apart. Okay. With all the crude stitches and glue smears, it's a bit of Frankenstein bag.
Okay.
With your collective knowledge, what is the panel's experience of both the backpack style bags and rectangular shaped bags? Surely both have pros and
straps.
cons. Many thanks from New Zealand. Keep up the epic
There you
work.
go.
Sweet.
New Zealand. I was going to say either from
Right, because of its set and structure.
or speak to text or whatever.
So I'm not trying to make fun of you by
Yes, he
doing
is.
that guy. No, I'm not.
He definitely was. He
makes
told us beforehand.
It makes it.
I wait till you hear this question.
It makes it difficult to ask it. So anyway, between backpack style and a rectangular shape, which I'm assuming he probably means shoulder.
Yeah, kind of
strap
like the
bag.
long bag. With,
Old school bags, which they have straps. So I haven't carried one of those since 2010.
Yeah, many moons.
11 probably. So it's been a very long time. And when I went to the backpack, I'll never go back to a shoulder strap or rectangular older school type bag.
Yep.
A couple reasons. Comfortability is probably the number one reason. It's just so comfortable. It's a backpack that, it's made to be hauled around. That's where the other one is. It's just a little bit more out of touch, I guess I would say. So, I personally love the backpack, and you can put it in a cart. There's so many good reasons why to carry a backpack as opposed to like a duffel style. I personally think the backpack just looks a little bit more professional too, which I kind of like. So those are a couple of my reasons.
Yep, I agree. Same thing. More storage, sits more comfortably. That's it.
Yeah,
I think backpack's the way to go. For sure.
For sure. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm not going back to
Wall City.
Not having
The Wall City Cube. I used to carry one of those.
The Wall City?
It was the brand. Wall City.
I never heard Wall City. Yeah. I remember a friend of mine, Jeremy Taylor, when he first got into disc golf. I can't remember what it was. No, it was Fade.
Oh, Fade bags. Yeah.
Someone sent him a Fade bag. No, he ordered a Fade bag and they sent the wrong color, or they sent something wrong. And he said, this is not right or something. They said, just keep it. And then he got another one.
Nice.
And he gave me it was a blue, dark blue and light blue Fade bag. That was my first disc golf bag. So.
Very cool.
Nick asks, hey guys, love the podcast and all the videos that the DD team put together. I have twin 7-year-old boys and their birthday is in a few weeks. I'm ordering them each a Junior EMAC Truth.
Yes.
And I'm sure you guys get this a lot, but I was hoping Eric could sign them. I thought it would be cool for them to have something they could hang in their room after they grow out of them. I'm putting the order in on 6/29. It's super short notice, so I hope we can do it. So, Nick, I apologize. Again, this is why I try to remind everybody that we have a lot of questions. So asking time-sensitive questions doesn't work. So apologies if we missed that. Hopefully, maybe you put it in the notes, and hopefully it got over here and Eric was able to sign it. So
yeah.
Now, if you are going to order and you want us to sign them, order notes is the best way to do it.
Right.
Put them in there. We get them sent over to us. We get them signed back over to you.
Granted, it takes a couple days sometimes. Sometimes it could take a week or two.
Correct. That just delays the process some, so just be aware if you do that. A lot of times, Eric may be out on the road doing something. We may be out at a tournament, so just know that's going to happen, but we will definitely get it done if you put it in the order notes.
Correct.
So there's a couple discs in front of Robert, and I wanted to talk about quickly talk about each of them. These are the Lucid X or Opto X Team Series discs. Of course, Lucid X or Opto X is going to be kind of a little bit stiffer than a normal Lucid or a normal Opto plastic. For some people, they may like that because some people feel it gives it a little bit more stability. And that's some people, they have their favorite disc and they're thinking, man, if it was just a little more stable,
a little more beef,
or if it didn't, if the beat-in process it still stayed stable,
or I just wish it was a little stiffer.
Right.
Because a lot of people like that too.
And so the X version is good with that. So we have with us what do we have?
We have a Lucid X
Trespass.
EMAC. That's this guy. Good stuff. We have a Bobby Music Havoc, Opto X Havoc, which I'm so super stoked on.
Now, we talk a lot about the Trespass, so I feel like our viewers understand the Trespass, but the Havoc isn't something we talk about.
The Havoc is very similar to a Trespass, maybe a touch less overstable than a Trespass, I would say.
I'd say faster also.
Yeah, faster, but I used to throw the Havoc actually when I first switched over just for pure distance shots. That's it. Just open field, just smashers. And the Opto X version is going to be just a touch more stable, which is going to be a phenomenal disc. Props to Bobby for doing that one, because that's going to be a really good one.
Other Bobby.
Not you, Bobby.
What do we have next?
We have Lucid X Maverick from Zach Melton.
I'm excited about that.
And I think as soon as Anthony saw that, he began to salivate.
He began to saliva.
He began to rock metal.
He began to salivate. So he is very interested in the Lucid X Maverick.
All right. Then we have the Opto X Ballista Pro from Feldy, it says.
Yeah.
Moving on to
we got the
Felon.
Lucid X Felon. We've had a lot Demand for these. They are back. Check it out.
Popular.
We got the Opto X Saint Pro, Johnny McRae's signature edition.
This one feels good too. It really does. Has a nice little dome to it.
I've seen him smash those too.
Yeah.
And then the last one that's in right now is the Devin Owens Opto X River. which is just going to be kind of a straighter river, not quite as much hard turn, just pretty straight. Ones that we're still waiting on, we've got the Lucid X Convicts, Page Pierce that we're waiting on to come in, and then we've got the Opto X Explorers that we're waiting on.
The Rickies.
Ricky Wasaki. Yep.
I saw he got his, so ours should be here any day.
Yeah. Ours are just in Kansas City or something.
Okay.
So the deal with these is they're in the X plastic, which, like we said before, a little more stable, a little stiffer that some people might prefer. But also because these are the team series, when you purchase these, they help us help the touring players stay out there on the road. So you're doing two cool things. You're buying a new plastic that you might like, which I think you would, and you're helping these individual players, helping them stay out on the road with the funding and stuff like that. So those are going to be available.
They should start going to retail stores this next week. So that's when you need to check them out.
Yep. So if you have a Disc Golf Pro shop that you shop from a lot and you need to go in and ask them, hey, you getting the new X's out, the new Opto X, the Lucid X?
I think
if not, you better get in there and order them.
No, they can't order them now.
They were pre-ordered.
All pre-ordered.
Cannot order them. Do not go in there and tell them because they'll be mad at you and me.
Yep.
They had to be pre-ordered.
Pre-order only. So I know the Dynamic Disc website will have all of them at some point.
So if your stores didn't get them, tell them next time they get the newsletter that says to pre-order these.
There you go.
Make sure you pre-order them.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the questions
And
now.
trespasses, all of them.
Make sure you have those.
This one's Dave from Ohio. Crosswind throws.
Yes.
Hey, Bobby, Chili Father, Slippery Wind. Eric, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, McCabe.
Fair enough.
And Robert, Pretty Boy McCall.
Oh, got him.
If I can't play, that's not bad. This is fine.
And shout out to Danny Babyface. Babyface. I'm predominantly a right-hand backhand player with a touch forehand. Struggling in crosswinds, any help would be appreciated. Also, if a competitor is Oh, that's a second part question, so we'll go back to. So what's some suggestions if he's struggling in the crosswinds?
Man, crosswinds are probably the most difficult to throw in as far as accuracy and distance and whatnot. Something I always attempt to do, depending on what shot I'm throwing and which direction it's going, but I always try to keep it as pretty much as level as possible in helping fight the wind, because as soon as you expose the flight plate or the other side as well, it's going to either lift or just absolutely slam into the ground, and the disc's not going to do anything like you thought it was going to do. Keeping it nice and level helps it fight the wind a little bit more, which is what I love to do with headwinds, just on a slight hyzer line. But through right to left wind, depending on if you're throwing a big hyzer, that's when you can kind of expose the plate a little bit, not a whole lot.
Because it's going to help you.
It's going to help push the disc, but something to try out next time you're out there in the field or anything like that, and you got some wind coming to the sides. Just try to keep it as flat as possible.
Mm-hmm. And just know, if you expose the bottom flight of the flight plate, that disc is going to lift, and its normal tendencies are going to be exaggerated.
Yes.
Whereas he's talking about throwing forehand, so if you have a left to right crosswind and you put that on hyzer, meaning that you're exposing the bottom to the wind, it is going to lift and travel farther right.
On forehands. He said he's minimal forehand.
Oh, minimal forehand.
Minimal forehand.
Sorry.
Mainly backhand, minimal forehand.
I missed that. But then, if you're throwing backhand and there's a left to right crosswind, it's once you get that angle down, if you throw a hyzer, it is going to drop a little bit faster. So just be aware.
Throwing a hyzer into left to right wind it's
kind of hard.
Not fun.
Nah.
Not much fun.
Second part of his question?
Yes. Before we move on, though, make sure that you are subscribed to us on YouTube because, as we mentioned before, Physics of Flight Series 2, one of the subjects is wind on there from Dan Lindahl. So if you want to learn more about throwing in the wind, make sure you're subscribed. So when we are done with that, you'll see that. It says, also, if a competitor is laughing and making negative comments constantly with others' poor play, can you give them a courtesy violation? It's rude and distracting. Love what you do. Thanks, and keep it real.
Darn straight.
You're darn straight. If it's a sanctioned tournament, you can do a courtesy violation. If it's like a casual round, then you can just
give him a warning,
call him a jerk or something.
Yeah. Hey, you butthead. So that usually shuts him up.
Usually,
I saw some of that happen down at Worlds this last week.
Courtesy violations, or just
it should have been.
Yeah,
should have been
just guys chattering while others are throwing and stuff.
Well, and just being very negative.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
Yeah,
come on,
it happens.
Come out and handle your business.
There was a couple times where there was, and I don't know if it was the fault of the course, things being so close, but there were a couple times where people were really concentrating on
and then backing off or waiting, having to wait.
Yeah.
That's okay to me, but it's when people start yelling at each other obscenities is when we can move on to the next question.
Alrighty then. This sounds
before I tell any stories.
It was Eric. Eric was doing all
It
the
was
yelling.
me. I yelled
talk
at
about
everybody.
this offline.
He yelled at Bobby.
Yes, I did.
Okay, this one we'll go back to Speak Pipe. This is Sean from Michigan.
What's up, Bobby? Cool.
Is he shifting?
Daddy Slick
That's
Breeze.
exactly what it sounded like.
Robert, the hair magnificent McCall.
Hello.
And Eric, the truth, nothing but the truth, McCabe.
Oh.
This is Sean from Michigan. I have a couple questions for you today. My first is in lieu of the question I asked on YouTube last week about disc stability. Now, I've been playing for 2 years exactly today. Today's my disc anniversary and my birthday. So my form has improved, and I'm starting to notice discs that flew straight for me with a little bit of stable finish now are starting to go understable. So when I'm throwing them, how can I tell that the disc is just naturally going understable due to getting it up to speed more compared to throwing it more of on a turnover shot, on a turnover line? Do I just look at the disc flatness, and if the disc is flat, then I know that the disc is naturally turning over on its own? Thanks, guys. And now my second question is, putting has sort of become a sore spot for me lately. I'm starting to throw everything on a horrible hyzer line putt. Is this a grip issue? Is it a line issue? What's going on? Any input would help. Thanks, guys. Keep it real.
Sweet.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. And happy disc anniversary.
Yes.
Sweet.
Pretty awesome.
And happy double cheese gordita crunch. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about that.
Yeah, you are.
Get out of here with that.
I'm sorry.
So when you're talking about turning discs over, whether you're forcing it over or it's turning on its own, I think if you throw the disc flat, then you should be able to tell. If it moves right on its own and it comes out smooth, then the disc is probably on the more unstable side for what you're used to, right? Yeah. However, a lot of people will say a disc is too unstable when they're throwing it kind of as hard as they can flat, and it wobbles its way over to the right. That's called off-axis torque, and that means that you're not getting a smooth release on the disc. Right. So I have heard a lot of people who don't have the best form say, oh, that disc is too unstable for me. That's not the case. It's that you're throwing it poorly.
Right.
And so, a good litmus test is to let it go straight. And if it gets over to the right extremely quickly, then and you see it kind of wobble through the air, then there's a chance that you're not putting it on the angle that it needs to be, that your angle of reach back and release and follow through aren't matching the shot that you're trying to throw.
Like a wounded duck.
Exactly. Just but if it comes out smooth and turns to the right, then it's just gotten a little bit more understable on you.
Everybody wanted to get their sound effect.
I like it. And then the other one was about hyzer putting.
Hyzer putts, how to correct it.
Yeah, I mean, you've never really messed around with hyzer putting.
I never have, because I grew up playing on Mach 3s, and if you hyzer putt into Mach 3s, it's no good situations.
I know this to be true.
Yeah.
When I'm trying to putt flat, I'm a natural hyzer putter. When I'm trying to putt flatter, I like to pop my bottom fingers up. Instead of releasing out at the basket, kind of just think about popping them up and holding my hand a little bit more open to the sky. That helps me to get the disc a little bit flatter. That's something to try. It also may just be that you're holding it on hyzer when you're pulling back, so it might help you just this seems really simple, but to hold it flat when you're pulling back.
Yes,
that helps me to work on my angles for sure.
Yeah, and even get even more aggressive anhyzer putts on it, just to kind of get a feel for it, so you can kind of feel the difference. In both motions, and then kind of meet yourself in the middle.
Definitely, yeah. Overdo it so that you can reel it back in. Yep. Agreed. You like that, Bobby?
Was that good?
I'm trying something.
Do you agree or not?
I agree. Let's see if this works.
What an idiot.
Nice. Now we're all three on screen.
All right.
Look at that.
Did it.
Nice. Maybe okay. Yeah. All right. So next question. Can you guys see it yet? Can you see it on your screen?
Not for like 10 minutes.
No. Let's see. Aaron has a question about casual round versus tournaments. Hey guys, I have a question about that. I hope You guys, I have a question that I'm hoping you can help me with.
Okay.
I've noticed that when I play a casual round by myself with one or two other players, my scores are much better than in a tournament on the same course. To me, it seems like the speed of play is the only difference. I feel like I play better at a faster pace. Anything you guys can suggest I do to remedy this?
No. I mean,
you are doomed.
I mean, not during a tournament. There's nothing you can do if you just would rather play fast. I mean, tournaments are slow. They are slow moving. The only thing I can suggest you do is you start taking your time more during casual rounds, because tournament play is not changing.
That's exactly what I was going to say. There's one of those that you can control and one that you can't.
Yep.
You better get used to the one that you can't control.
Can't.
Make the casual round seem more like a tournament round. That'll help you.
Yep.
Excellent. Let's go to Speak Pipe, and this one's from Boo.
What up, Boo?
And his email address is Robert Cold Father Slippery Gust at AOL.netscape.com.
AOL.
Dude, Netscape though, throwing it back.
Good.
What's up, guys? I'm back. It's been a long time since I've sent in a question. I'm still listening to the show. I guess I just haven't really had much to ask or to say about anything for a while, but
Disappointed.
here goes. I've been noticing lately this weird phenomenon that's happening in my own game. I'm wondering if you guys have experienced this or have heard about this, but I have a practice basket. It's out in my garage. Occasionally when I get home from work or something, I'll drag it out, or I'll just step out into the driveway and I'll try to hit some putts. And I don't do a lot of like dedicated practice putting, but anytime I'm out there just trying to mess around and see if I can sink a few, I'm just dreadful. And I don't know what the difference is, because out on the course, I feel like putting is probably one of my strongest attributes. Over the last couple years, I've hit a really high percentage inside the circle, I think, and usually can a couple from outside on the average round as well. But when I'm just practice putting, and I guess maybe there's no like feel of the round or the kind of importance on each putt, I just can't drain one to save my life. I feel like my stroke is all weird and different and just not dialed in. But when I get out there on the course and I have my main putter in my hand, I feel much more confident. Have you ever experienced something like this? And is there anything I can kind of do to maybe try to change that mindset? Because I feel like practice putting really just damages my confidence rather than boosting it. Anyway, hope you guys are all doing really well. I'll talk to you very soon. Cheers.
Let's see. Have I ever experienced this? Yes. At every single tournament I've ever played in my life. Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of the nature of the beast in a way. Right. It's tough. What I do like to do and try to help mimic those putts that matter is not necessarily put something on the line, because it is just going to be you out there practicing, but set goals for yourself. You know, like I can't stop putting until I've made this many putts, or I've gone perfect from each station, or something like that. Just you got to set yourself goals and limitations almost that you know, it comes down to that last 32 footer that I have to make, or I have to start all over. You know, your mind will help focus into that a little bit more. I personally believe that is what has helped me over the years. But it's, if you're just gonna, you know, stand in your driveway and throw putts, it's not bad, because repetition is good, but repetition also only goes so far.
Right. And if you're repeating the wrong thing, that's not good.
Yeah.
I like to, if I'm really trying to get into practice putting, like to make it matter, I'll put my mini down and go through my routine and make the putt and then go pick it up out of the basket instead of putting multiples.
Yeah.
Because that makes it feel that makes it feel a little bit more important. And then you can't just make them off muscle memory, right? So if I miss the first one, I know if I stay in the same spot, I can just jam this one or hit it a little bit harder. Instead, I like to switch spots every time. If I really want it to count, that's what makes it count for me.
Yeah, I 100%.
All right,
or put landmines around the basket.
On YouTube,
and if I hit those, then I die.
On YouTube, you're going to see something new. I just figured this out. We'll see what people think of it. We'll go from here. We'll keep going. Next one comes from Evan. Let me know in the comments on YouTube if you're watching live if you think it's a cool look. I recently played a tournament at a course I had never played. I could only show up about 1 hour before the players' meeting in order to warm up. The course had OB on 90% of the holes with some island greens thrown in as well. If you only have an outer warm up, would you try and walk as much of the course as you can or warm up your arm / putting?
Man. Great question. I try to avoid this situation as often as I can.
Yeah, but sometimes it's unavoidable.
Yeah, sometimes
obviously.
it just
But I personally, man, that's a tough call because there's so many tournaments I've played in the past that I've played blind, and I've played getting a couple practice rounds in it, and sometimes the blind works better. Not knowing where the OB is, not knowing certain things, and you're just out there kind of relaxed. Now that can backfire and just completely. I mean, you throw one OB, then you let it affect you, and then your mind goes down the drain and what. So personally, for me, what I'd recommend is if you know what the more difficult holes on the course are, check those out, and if not, just kind of speed walk the entire course. Maybe take a putter and a mid and just kind of throw shots here and there if you can, just to get through it, just so you kind of know what to expect at least. So nothing's going to be, oh my gosh, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this? This is a what?
Right.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I would err on the side of seeing the course, but you can't just walk the course and then know it. Like I always throw, even if it's just one shot, throw the disc that I think it is. If it's not that disc, then I know I can kind of adjust from there. But if it is, I've already got the disc that I need. Yeah. So I would err on the side of seeing the course.
Yeah. Oh no, no, absolutely. But if it's not an option,
I'm saying even for that hour.
Okay. Yeah.
Just throw. If you know the trouble holes, definitely go straight to those. Yes. But if not, I'm going to see as many holes as I can.
Absolutely. And when you're checking out these holes, a piece of advice. At the basket, always turn around and look back down the fairway, because what you'll see is you'll see different lines. You'll see one of my favorite things to do, and when I'm actually watching a tournament, especially when it's at a course that I'm familiar with, is to watch from the basket.
Yes,
seeing discs come in, see how they're reacting to the ground, the skip, the certain trees, branches, anything like that. I think that really has helped my game throughout the years is watching from the basket and just taking in the whole green and knowing, well, that tree's only 15 feet, 20 feet from the basket. I'm confident from there. So if I get to that area, I should be confident. So when you're playing the hole, it naturally makes the green look a little bit bigger, and it gives you a bigger aiming point to aim at, as opposed to I got to get this close.
Yep, I agree.
So
sorry,
Bobby, I like this, but it looks like we're looking through you to look at each other.
I know. Yeah, I just switched it.
Okay, sweet.
Now I think it look. No, see, now it's messed up because if I'm looking at Eric, do I look like I'm looking at Eric?
Hold on. Well, that's
not going to work probably.
It's going to take a minute for us to find out.
I think it doesn't look like I'm looking at Eric. It looks like I'm looking the other way.
That's going to look really weird now because it's probably going to be switched by the time it gets back.
Anyway.
Next question?
Yeah, let's just...
No, Nick Letch was on... I was trying to remember what I saw in here. Nick Letch was on there about the Junior EMAC.
trees.
He said he hadn't ordered it yet because after he submitted it, he realized it maybe... Does it look like I'm looking the opposite way?
It does look like you're looking the opposite way, but also when Eric acted like he was punching me, it had already switched. So it was just...
So I just looked like I punched him.
Yeah, it's okay.
Instead of going through you.
So he's going to order that, and so we should see that. Also, people are asking about, on YouTube are asking about my glasses. Here's the story on my glasses.
Yeah, you wanted to fit in with us.
I wanted to fit in.
Yeah, this is golf glasses, man.
Totally understand.
I hadn't thought of that. The reason I have my glasses on for the last few days is because in Saturday, when I put my contacts on, it felt like I had a lash in my eye, but it didn't bother me. I put my contacts in, and then I got to the course, and people were like, "Why is your eye so red?" And what was funny is they said, "Maybe you got something in your eye or something." And then Ron Converse goes, "You probably got a sty in there. Oh, you got junk in the middle. Or you need to wipe it off or something." I went to wipe it, and I felt like I was rubbing glass on my eye. And from then on, it was irritated. So it wasn't painful, but it bothered me a little bit. I got home, took my contacts out, and I just have been letting my eye kind of take care of itself. So that's why I have glasses on.
For sure.
Okay, let's get back to the questions, and then I'll see if I can fix the view for the YouTube people. This one is from... That's the same question, so we'll delete that, and we'll go back to SpeakPipe, and Boo has another question.
What up, Boo?
Gentlemen, hello. So, the summer is... hopefully starting to wind down. It has been pretty brutal across the country. really, really dry, hot weather out here in the West Coast has caused all kinds of problems. And, it's been super rough. I'm sure you guys have had plenty of hot temperatures and humidity and all that kind of stuff. It's been ugly. But you know what else is pretty hot? Is the action at the Beaver State Fling 2018. Now, I have warned Robert via Facebook that I would soon be beginning a speak pipe assault in order to shame and or coerce you guys into making sure that the Beaver State Fling next season is part of your scheduling and your calendar of events that you're going to take in. There's all kinds of beautiful drone shots that Bobby could get out here. There's all kinds of various places you guys could go eat. There's tacos. I don't know if there's any like super weird tacos, but we have tacos here. I think that's pretty important for Robert and his traveling plans. The Pacific Northwest could take in the full majesty of the hair itself, like out here in all its glory. And I think it would just be worth doing. Anthony can maybe come and see what he's been missing out on while he's been hanging out there with you guys.
I think that's the one he'd love to go to.
Love for you to make it. I'd also absolutely love to be able to hang out with you guys and get in around somewhere. So hopefully you can make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to make it to Beaver State.
It's not that we wouldn't want that. We don't want to go.
It's just it seems awesome.
It's just like it's a super drive. So it's not like we can just go on a weekend and go, hey guys, let's just take a weekend off and go. A super drive. It's a long drive. How long is it from here? Like
it's like 30 hours.
Yeah,
26 hours.
Yeah, and I mean flights as much as we can. We try to limit the flights that we do throughout the year to like Worlds. And then, this time we went to Europe, but most of the time it's just Worlds and Memorial.
Probably not driving out there.
So it's cost prohibitive.
Well, the Memorial we drove to.
Yeah, I'm saying this year we did. Last year we did.
Yeah. It's definitely cost prohibitive.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So, yeah.
Well, and I mean, I'll agree with him. I'll agree with you, Boo. I've been there many years.
Oh, it seems awesome.
And Bobby, you've been there.
But
I know you don't know that you've been there.
I've been there for Worlds.
You went there for Worlds, but it was, I mean...
It still was nice.
You still got to experience everything.
I know what I want to go back.
It's like coming to Emporium, coming to the... Well, that's a little different, I guess. But
yeah, I would love to go.
You do need to experience Beaver State as well, but you have been to Portland.
Yes.
No.
Yes, I have an experience in Portland that we can't talk about. Next one is from Cedric. He says, hi.
Hi.
I was wondering how to switch disc brands. I've been an Innova thrower the 2 years I've been playing. My question is, how fast should it take to switch brands? Is it a gradual thing, or should I throw out my discs and fully commit?
Depends, really. It's totally up to you. I think if the reason that you're switching is to support another company, cool. No problem. Then you can probably switch at the pace at which you can get those discs, right? Because that's kind of expensive to switch your whole bag over straight up.
Straight up.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's a... I think it would be good to switch a couple discs at a time just so you become familiar with those discs and your game doesn't suffer because you're using unfamiliar discs. But I think there's also something to, if you're not going to play a tournament for a couple months or something, switch everything and just get used to those discs. I think there's something to that.
Just start with an EMAC Truth.
Number 1, EMAC Truth.
And then number 2. And 3.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you can move on to Lucid X Trespass or something.
I get frustrated when I look on Facebook and someone asks about switching a brand and they just get pummeled by people like, if you're not sponsored, then why are you even switching? Throw it.
I mean, that's true. If you're not sponsored,
Train has left the building.
You can throw whatever you want. But if you want to switch, do your thing.
Let people do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Why don't you be you?
Yeah.
And I'll be me.
Thanks, James Bay.
Yeah.
You really crushed it.
Why don't you be you and I'll be me? I haven't heard that song in a while.
I know.
To it.
It's not a bad thing.
So Cedric moves on to another question. He's trying to switch brands and have no idea how DD plastic compares to Innova. I want to know the plastic that DD has that are similar to the following. So just in case you love Innova and you're an Innova fan, that is perfectly fine. Don't dog us because we got this question. Here's the question. So
you say an Innova plastic, we'll say a DD plastic.
Ready? G-Star.
Closest thing is Lava from us, but that's
Elasto, lava.
out of production right now. So yeah,
Star.
Star is Fusion or Gold Line or Tournament Plastic.
Champion.
Opto, Lucid, or VIP.
VIP.
Pro.
It depends on if it's Driver Pro or like KC Pro, but I'd say our classics or BTs or zeros are pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
DX.
Then DX is probably more like Prime or Origio or Retro.
Also wondering if you have an overmold disc like an XT Nova.
The Nova is pretty unique in that it's just like super duper duper really, 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 really straight. We do have an overmold disc. Yeah, we do have an overmold disc that I think flies a little bit more overstable than that. That's the Ceric.
It's pretty close to it. It's got a lot of glide.
Yeah.
And it does have a nice fade at the end. So yeah, it is a little stable. But I would say if you're just in love with the overmold, then the Ceric.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to try out. That's it.
That it?
I use a Warden instead of a Nova. I like how straight it flies for me, but if you're sold on the overmold, agreed. Ceric.
So, whoa, stop. Sorry. Something happened here.
Okay. Great.
What happened?
No, nothing. Go ahead.
So back to that. Mackie says, I think I have 6 different name brands in my bag. To me, that's awesome. That's great.
Do your thing.
But don't pick on people just because they decide to only throw one brand. I don't think that's right. I think the people, if they want to do that, they can do that, and just back off.
All right. Are you like
no,
trying to figure something else out, and you're just kind of rambling right now? Because it seems like it. Back off.
Wherever you go, no matter what you do.
Yes. Thanks, Bobby. I knew this was coming, right?
It's kind of loud.
Wait, where's the part at?
There you go.
Just let it be. Why don't you be you?
Now we have to pay him.
See, that's my motto for picking your discs.
There's less than 10 seconds. We don't have to pay.
Yeah, we don't have to pay.
I don't think that's a rule.
We got time for a couple questions. We got 2 more speak pipe questions. We'll get those taken care of, and then we'll be gone.
Hello, Disc Golf Answer Man. This is Ryan. Had a fun question for you today. Was wondering if any of you had any weird, unique rituals or routines that you like to do before a throw, a putt, or pre-round, anything. I know for me, I've got these Wardens with a big hand-eye stamp on it.
Nice.
And when I go to putt, I give that hand a high five on the disc, and in my mind, I say, go get in the basket, and then continue on with my putt routine. So just didn't know if you guys had any fun routines that you guys go through. Thanks. Have a great day.
I'm curious about you.
I hope your basket or your disc doesn't think you're beating it. I've actually done that before.
Weird routines? No, I do the same thing every time.
You still do that with the?
I've got my mini, and it's same mini that I've had since I got on the team, and it has my 3 phrases that I say to myself, which are watch your link, follow through, be confident. So when I get up to my putt, I look down at that and I look at it and I say them to myself, usually 3 times, but a couple. And then by the time I look up at the basket, the only thing that I'm looking at is my link, say a couple more things to myself, and then putt.
I'm good enough. I'm smart enough.
Smart enough.
And
Doggone it.
People like me.
Stuart Smalley?
Yeah.
It's actually not that. But
okay. I thought that's what it was.
No. Anyway, yeah, that's that. And I do a similar thing when I throw, but without the watch your link. I just pick a thing and say, what's my target? And focus all of my mental energy on that, and then I throw.
What about you, Eric?
No, I really don't have anything like weird. Like, not that that's weird, but
hateful.
But I didn't mean it like that. I don't really have anything that I necessarily do every time, or I don't think so. Not really.
Yeah, I'd say I'm pretty methodical when it comes to that stuff.
All right, last question is from Kai Kim. And while we're getting this question answered for our YouTube listener or watchers, like we always do or have been doing,
Like we always do at this time.
right as we're ending the show, if you've got any quick questions you want to ask, we'll ask them live here on the show.
So write them in the comments.
Write them in the comments.
What's up, Disc Golf Friends? My name's Kai Kim, and I'm 14 years old. A couple months ago, 2 of your junior sponsors, Tyler and Carter Aarons, gave me a Lucid Captain. A couple weeks later, I bought another one because I really, really like the feel and the glide and the flight. Recently, about maybe a week ago, I started to turn it over when I was trying to do a straight shot. Can you recommend something that's more stable? Thanks for all you do, and keep it real, guys.
Nice.
What did he say? Did he say a gavel?
Lucid Captain.
Captain, I'm sorry.
Captain. Oh, Captain.
So the stability of the Captain and the Trespass are pretty similar. The Trespass is going to be a little bit slower, and the Lucid one's maybe a little bit more overstable than a Captain, so you may like that for that stability. Another one that you might try out is the Flow. The Flow is, I think, a pretty underrated disc in the DD Latitude and Westside lineup, but it's just pretty point and shoot, good stability, maybe a little turn and a little fade. Yeah, I think that's a good one. It might be that Lucid X Havoc too.
It might be. I would go with the Trespass personally, like just a Lucid or a Domi Fusion, depending on what type of plastic you like. As Robert mentioned, it is a little bit slower, which is going to kind of recreate a little bit more stability in the disc itself. So I would go for a Trespass.
I think I want to get a Flow.
Excuse me, Flow.
Dymax, The Last Dragon on there.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that movie?
No.
Mm-mm.
When you got the flow,
no,
you know.
Was the name of the Dragon Flow or something?
No.
So
The Last Dragon, it was a movie, and it was kind of like, it was a karate movie, and the main guy's name was, or the main villain was Sho'nuff. Sho'nuff, and it was a cool movie. It was a cool karate movie, and the song was if you got the flow, you know, and that's when he realized it.
That's when he became a dragon.
Yes, yeah, no, he realized the power.
Still trying to get the dragon.
Really weird.
The last, like, Enter the Dragon, like Bruce Lee Enter the Dragon. Okay, anyway. All right, let's go to YouTube.
The only thing I think of when I hear Flow is exactly what you said.
Yeah. Excuse me, Flow.
Flow. What's the soup? What's the soup du jour?
What's the soup du jour?
What's the soup of the day? That sounds
what about
good.
Flo from Alice?
I'll have that.
Do you remember that show, Eric?
Yeah.
Alice?
Wait.
Wasn't it Flo?
From what?
Alice.
Alice?
Yeah, where the diner. They worked in a diner at Mel's. They worked at Mel's Diner.
That's where it came from.
And I think the one, she was Flo. She's Kiss My Grits.
That's where that came from Dumb and Dumber, right?
No.
Oh, did it?
Excuse me, Flo.
Oh, I
the
didn't know
waitress
that.
walks by?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
You have to go rewatch it.
And they just got
Yeah, see, someone named Sho'nuff says, "Who's the master?" And you say, "Sho'nuff."
That's pretty good.
Told you. All right, what questions we got?
did
Let's see.
not
Paul
believe
says,
you.
"Do you have any disc color preferences, or does it depend on the surroundings?"
I personally like bright green, yellow, chartreuse-ish color. It's just really easy to find. More opaqueness to it, the better, in my opinion. But other than that, I'll throw anything.
I love a teal colored disc.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites. However,
It's hard to find sometimes.
yes. So you kind of have to be picky and choosy on where you throw them.
Like Denise loves purple.
Right.
Purple and grays. And let me tell you,
Not
how
the
many
easiest ones
times
to find.
how hard it is to find a purple disc in the woods.
Yeah.
It can be difficult.
Chaser 90K on here says, can we get an official Eric Oakley meme review from DD? The internet wants to know which are the best. There are a lot.
There are
of
too
really
many.
good
Too many to go through.
Some of them
That would be a whole episode.
Some of them are like funny. Some of them are like hilarious. Some are
Yeah.
like, really?
Some of them are like, come on, man.
Try harder.
Yeah.
But they're good. They're all good.
Yeah.
Except the ones that need to try harder.
Right.
Correct. Yeah. Those are.
I wish we
those are
still had. I think Danny, you took. I think you took that disc back up, didn't you? The Loch Ness. So anyway,
Yeah.
there was a meme.
I mean,
going
if you
around.
haven't seen it.
Yeah. Yeah. Go to dynamicdiscs.com. Head on over to Dymax. You'll find
It's
that
on new
on there.
releases right now.
Oh,
you
on
see?
new releases?
No,
Yeah.
excuse me. It's
And
only going to be
that's-
up there for like another day or two because those are the limited things that we like to do every now and then. So it's
Yeah.
only going to be up there for a few more days.
They are I mean, that for me is super funny.
Yeah, it's cool.
Sometimes the internet is the absolute worst, right?
Majority of the
People get
time.
on there and they're just really mean, and that sucks. But sometimes, like in situations like this one, the internet is the best, and you only see funny things about Eric swimming around, and that's awesome.
Yes.
Oh, someone's got a legit question. For the buyback program, why is someone unable to pay the difference if they decide to get a more premium plastic? I don't know specifically how discs run the buyback program. I don't understand how the buyback program works, obviously, but I would imagine because when you have used the disc, they can't turn around and they can't necessarily sell it for full price. They're going to sell it as a used disc. So it's lost some of the value. So to kind of upgrade, they're losing more money in a sense. Now if you're thinking, well, buyback program doesn't work because they lose money, there's a lot more to it than just someone bringing back a disc and them losing money, because they actually gain your trust, they gain the business, they gain the walk-in traffic. And we've heard nothing but success from people that are buyback stores.
Yeah. If you haven't checked one of those out, you need to. It's fantastic. It's basically risk-free. Try whatever you want for 14 days. If you don't like it, bring it back, and you can get a disc from any manufacturer of the same value or lower.
No, you can't just bring back the disc completely thrashed.
Right, yeah. It has to be like normal wear and tear, not marked up.
And bring your receipt.
Yes, correct.
How do you organize your bags? Sean goes by speed. I see that Danny organizes by color.
Right.
I organize it by...
mine is the worst.
Just throw it in there.
Yeah, mine is... Yeah, throw it in there. I noticed at Worlds this past week that I have a lot of white discs in my bag right now for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I find myself pulling each one of them out trying to find the one.
It's always
the last one.
Yeah. Sorry,
Always
dude.
is.
Sorry, dude.
No, I don't.
I try to do drivers and mids on one.
I just
on
throw
separate
them in
sides,
there.
but by the middle of the round, they end up everywhere.
The only difference is the Ranger bag has the slot for a disc that kind of goes like in the flap. You know what I'm talking about, that flap. I'll put like whatever disc I'm throwing the most in there, which a lot of times ends up being like a shield or my approach putter. I'll put that one in there quite a bit, and then the putters in the side. What I always do is put them in backwards. They're just easier to get in and out that way. So
yep, I agree.
But other than that, I'm just. If I could throw them in there, I would.
What do you think, Rob?
I do mine by speed and stability. So drivers.
Even when you're putting them back after a throw?
Definitely, yeah. Drivers.
They've got little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on them.
That's
so
how I
he
uniquely
knows,
mark them on the side.
He knows exactly which slot they go
Just
into.
write a small number on the rim. That's not true. No, but
Bobby thought so. He was thinking about it there for a minute.
I was wondering if you could put a line. If someone ever puts a line and tries to
maybe
the line.
But yeah, mine are speed and stability. So distance drivers overstable to understable, fairways overstable to understable, mids overstable.
That's actually how I mark my discs now.
You put them in your bag
and
just
throw them in there and just run a line. I'm like, that's Mark. Let's go. Let's do this.
What would fill the slot between an underworld and a falchion? Underworld turns over and stays right. Falchion stays straight. Looking for something that will start right but flex back at the end.
Sarah, Hatchet might be a good one for you.
Hatchet is good.
I think that fits right in that spot.
I throw a striker for my neutral fairway driver, but everyone is raving about the Explorer lately. Numbers are very similar, but what would you consider the main differences?
That numbers don't mean anything.
You may have heard that on here before.
I don't know. I personally think...
Initially, I'm sorry.
I was going to say...
Thinking as you talked, and then I blurted. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I personally think the Explorer feels better in the hand, personally, than the Striker does. The Striker's good. It just kind of has the smaller rim on it, and the Explorer, while it's not a large rim, it's kind of small, but it just comes out of the hand cleaner, I feel, and it's kind of, it's one of those latest and greatest type things, I think, and I've just always had a lot more success with it.
And that's why I think people need to hesitate when they look at numbers and they think, it's just like this so-and-so. No, because the rim might be a little different. The diameter might be a little smaller. Something might be a little different that will either be better or not be better. It might not. It might not replace that disc that has similar numbers, but you never know. It might feel more comfortable in your hand or it might throw that much different because of whatever reason. But just because it has the same numbers doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the same disc.
Yeah, I like the Explorer better just because it's more of a point and shoot. I found the Strikers for me would sometimes move right and then left, and I just like that the Explorer's just pretty straight. What else you got, Bobby?
If I wanted to travel and try to play 2 to 3 Disc Golf Pro Tour events next year, which would you say is a must? I live near Toboggan, so the Glow I will be playing.
D-Glow.
The Glow.
Okay. That's the Great Lakes Open.
The
If you're watching and you don't know what that abbreviation means. Pro tours that you should make it out to. You are the worst.
Trying to get your goat.
Honestly, all of the pro tours are really good events. Memorial is a great kickoff to the year because it's actually warm there and it's cold most other places. So that's pretty nice.
That's okay.
I really like Waco a lot. It's going to be quite a drive for you, but I think the Beast is one of my favorite courses that we play all year. Half open, half woods. I love that one. The Utah Open looks really beautiful. I've never been out there, but I have been to Utah and it was awesome. And then Ledgestone has a ton of added cash every year, so that's always a good one to check out. Like I said, I don't think there's a bad Disc Golf Pro Tour event.
No, I don't think there's either. I think you could play any of them and
be pretty happy.
But I will throw out a plug for the Glassbone Open as well. It's not a Pro Tour event, but it is a must-play event.
All right, real quick, because we got to get to other things. Last question. So is there a way to know how to, is there any way how to know if a disc is more stable or unstable just by looking at it in the shop?
Just read the numbers.
There you go. That's it. Booyah! So kind of, but it's tough to tell for sure. So I see you're asking about a destroyer. Most distance drivers are more stable when the parting line, which is where the pieces of the mold separate, is a little bit higher. So if you see one that's a little bit higher, usually that means the disc has a little bit more dome. Typically that means the disc is more overstable. But sometimes that's true, sometimes it's not. So is there a way to find out exactly if that particular disc is more overstable than the one you lost without throwing it? No.
And no. There you go.
Is that it?
I think that's about it. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in on the audio and for watching on YouTube. Appreciate you putting up with us as we do this stuff. Actually,
putting up with specifically Bobby.
Yeah, so
it's really.
Thank you, guys. We will see you next time.